tonight, only on HAPPENING.fun. We are attractions. We are casino events. We are nightlife. We are festivals. We are concerts. We are Florida events. We are movies. We are sports. We are live performance. With your host, Napoleon Plays. With your moderator, Al Ferguson. Celebrities and interviews. Jonas Brothers. Ariana Grande. Let's plan ahead. Santa's Enchanted Forest. Riptide Music Festival. Out and About. AC Squared. Equality Florida Broward Gala. The Fun 5. Camelot Days Medieval Festival. Halloween and the Day of the Dead arrive. It's all happening tonight on South Florida's most popular live source for things to fun. Only on HAPPENING.fun.
Well, good evening, South Florida. We're really excited. Napoleon Plays here, my partner in crime. This is a big holiday. What's going on? Happy Halloween! We're really excited to be here tonight. It's
we practiced it and everything.
Yeah. I think I did that better than you.
Of course you did.
I think I did.
You think you do everything better, but it doesn't matter if we're having fun. Right?
By the way, stop
show.
calling me Kathy Lee. I can drink my wine if I want to.
Okay.
I can. Welcome, South Florida, to HAPPENING.fun. We are a show to show you the things to fun this week in South Florida, and this is going to be a lot of fun. You saw, I just did Fantasy Fest. That was at the top of the show. I'm your moderator, Al Ferguson. As I said, this is my partner in crime, Napoleon Plays.
Living the fantasy still.
Yeah, exactly. You're excited about Halloween?
I'm so excited about Halloween. It's the biggest holiday that there is. We can dress up and be anything. We can go out and have fun. We can have candy. Come on, candy.
I can't have candy. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you can't have fun. You can go have
but
fun.
I can have wine. I can have wine. You have candy.
So we'll double team that.
All right. Well, South Florida, let me tell you, we're going to show you so many different things to do that are so much fun. We call it Things to Fun in this coming week. We remind you, this is a live show. We really mean live. We are coming to you live. If Napoleon screws up, which I guarantee you he will, we're not editing it out because we're live.
And if he makes me angry and I have to push him off the chair, then that's also going to happen, and I'll hear the round of applause, and so will you.
Exactly. All right, so let me tell you.
We are coming here from Bubbles and Pearls. It is in South Florida, and as we know, South Florida is the sexiest place on planet Earth,
yes.
And Bubbles and Pearls is definitely living up to that. Right now, we have Josie, Chef Josie from Top Chef All-Stars here as the owner of it to tell us a little bit more about Bubbles
Welcome,
and Pearls.
Chef Josie.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about this great location we're broadcasting live from.
Okay, so I'm right here on Wilton Drive, ground zero to the fun for Halloween night.
Absolutely.
We at Bubbles and Pearls are a cute little chic and hip restaurant serving up some of the best food on the drive. We apparently have the best lamb chops for sure, and a off-the-chain ribeye that, our guests actually named that dish. On top of that, we're serving up bubbles and oysters, and we're just leading with a celebration here. On Halloween night, we have a Halloween party, okay? A Halloween contest, costume party. There'll be 30,000 people up and down the streets here in Wilton Drive, and we're so excited to see all the freaky costumes because it's the best. It's the best of the best costumes. And well, if you come by Bubbles and Pearls, you can enter into our contest for a gift certificate of $150. Okay, I know. I'm so excited because you have to see some of these have been I mean,
You are pure Halloween.
crazy Halloween, okay? And so you come in, you show your face, show us and our community will vote who's the best, and then you get a chance to win a gift certificate.
That sounds so much fun. First off, South Florida, you can understand why Chef Josie was a standout in Top Chef and a standout in Top Chef All-Stars.
Right.
You've got to come to Bubbles and Pearls in Central Fort Lauderdale in Wilton Manors on Wilton Drive. It's our host tonight for HAPPENING.fun, and we're thrilled to be here. Thank you very much,
All right,
Josie.
thanks for having me.
All right, now let's jump right into it. Remember that we want you to like and share us.
That's right. You want to like and share everything that we do because we are a growing community and we want to make sure that you have the things to fun. So send it to your friends and, of course, start a watch party. It's not enough to just subscribe. We want to make sure that you have your voice with your friends and can plan your activities because that's what we're all about.
That's right. And we have a little video prepared. No, we're not going to show that tonight, but we encourage you to like us.
Yeah, it's very simple. Just go to the bottom right corner of the main video and click the share.
Right. The last thing we want to tell you before we talk about the things to fun is that if you have an event, an activity, a festival, a party, a charity organization, reach out to HAPPENING.fun and let us feature it on this show. Do you know how many people watched last week?
Honestly, I don't.
Almost 10,000 of you watched last week, and that was only our second episode of HAPPENING.fun. We are going to be the most popular show in South Florida for things to fun, which means let's dive right into it.
See you guys at them, too.
Let's begin with celebrities and celebrity events that are going on in South Florida. Our number 3 thing to see in terms of celebrity is Alicia Keys.
That's going to be a lot of fun. If you grew up in any era in the last 20 years, you definitely know Alicia Keys. She's had some of the best hits with Usher on her own. She is an incredible voice for female and human rights.
Speaking of voice, I loved her as a judge on The Voice. She was so much fun to watch. Yeah. She is appearing at Hard Rock Live at the new guitar-shaped Seminole Hard Rock on November 16th at 9:30 p.m. And it's going to be an amazing concert, and a portion of her proceeds are for charity.
Next up on our favorite things that we wanted to tell you about for celebrities and interviews, we have the Jonas Brothers. Speaking of people that you might have grown up with, the Jonas Brothers are back. And this time, not only are they performing together, but you have an opportunity in South Florida to go and see them all grown up. Do you know anything about the Jonas Brothers?
I know everything about the Jonas Brothers. First off, they're 3 attractive guys. They started
music.
They have incredible music.
Well on
exactly. They kind of started out as the butt of jokes and then proved everybody wrong.
And they're reaching out to everything. They act now too.
Exactly. And as you said, the Jonas Brothers are going to be at the BB&T Center on November 15th at 7:30 p.m. Our number 1 celebrity that we bring to your attention this week at HAPPENING.fun is none other than hometown gal Ariana Grande.
Oh, yeah. She's from Boca Raton. That's
right. She lives right here in South Florida. And of course, before we talk about her concert coming, let us show you something really interesting that she just recently said about the Manchester concert in England she did. We're going to show you a little bit of this interview. Watch this.
Ariana, you that song is meaningful to you in some deep ways.
Yeah.
You've been through not only personal stuff with the relationship, but what took place in Manchester also was heavy, heavy, heavy stuff for the world. And was that song that important to put out some of that energy and let people know that we're all working to get well?
Yeah, it's just about like just being there for each other and like helping each other through scary times and like anxiety and some dark shit out there, man.
It is.
So we just have to like be there for each other as much as we can, because you never fucking know, So I just wanted to do something to make people feel good and less alone. It's not just about, that, it's also about personal demons and anxiety and more intimate tragedies as well, Mental health is so important. People don't pay enough mind to it because we have things to do. We have schedules, we have jobs, we have you know, kids and places to be and pressure to fit in and Instagram stories, whatever you're trying to put on facade, trying to keep up. People don't pay attention to like what's happening inside. You know, I'm so sorry. I'm falling apart. Yeah, that's why I felt like it was important. I just wanted to give people a hug musically. And I feel like the lyrics can be kind of corny when I talk about like wanting to hug you and stuff, but like I really do. Because it's just like, I don't know. People gotta be nicer. When you see this shit on the news, it affects you, but not the same way. You feel bad, you tweet it, you post a picture, you send your condolences, you say something, and then you move on, you know. But like, Christmas comes and you're like thinking about it, you know, it's like, you know, I'm so sorry. Like, it's like people are permanently affected by this shit, and it's just like perspective. It like changes everything, changes your life quite a bit, you know.
Well, certainly Napoleon and I's heart goes out to Ariana Grande. She talks eloquently about how she was affected in Manchester. She has a triumphant return to South Florida as she comes to the BB&T Center. What do you think about what she said there?
She's the master of publicity stunts, quite frankly, and I don't know if I'm going to take this sincerely or not, but I definitely want to. I know that after the incident that happened at the Manchester shooting from her concert, there is a lot of fear that you must have as a performer. So if this is her reaching out honestly, I'm ready to brace on. She was the babysitter to my boyfriend growing up, and I understand that.
You apparently are not a real big Ariana fan.
No, I'm not, because, I mean, yeah, she's very attractive, and especially her voice. I mean, she can rock a stage really hard. I understand. She belongs in the sexiest place on earth. But sometimes she's not coming across as the nicest to me, and that makes me a little bit hesitant, I've got to say.
I have to tell you, I completely disagree with you. Ariana Grande is absolutely fantastic. She's a leader in the music industry, especially at her age. You should go and see her triumphant return as she comes to the American Airlines Arena on November 27th at 7:30 p.m.
It's good you're talking about ahead, because let's get into what we can plan ahead with our new section, Let's Plan Ahead.
Exactly. Our next segment is called Let's Plan Ahead. It's a reminder to you, if you want the best tickets and you want the best events, plan ahead. Number 3 this week is this event called Save the 90s. I love this.
Saved by the 90s.
Saved by the 90s.
Saved by the Bell, but in the 90s.
The event venue I haven't been to yet. It's called Revolution Live in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And Saved by the 90s. We have this video about this, and let us show you a little taste of what they are going to do. Watch this. Goodness, this band is singing to my soul.
Your soul. I was actually growing up in the 90s. There are songs that they were covering. There was this girl that I dated in high school that covered that Alanis Morissette song, and it still rings in my head right now from that point of view. The 90s are me, man. Come on. If we can both go, everyone can go, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's called Saved by the 90s. It's at Revolution Live. It is November 9th at 9 p.m.
Next on our list of things that we can let's plan ahead, Riptide Music Festival. If you guys love to go celebrate in music, November 23rd and 24th are definitely days that you want to get out and get to this festival. Have you ever been?
I have not. I've only been in the South Florida community about 9 months, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. We're showing you a little bit of video about the Riptide Music Festival. It's the major music festival on Fort Lauderdale Beach, and
Right there
I'm
on the
excited to
ocean as
go.
listening to music. That's something you can only do right here in South Florida.
Yes,
And that's why it's so sexy down here.
An all-star lineup for it. It is going to be at Fort Lauderdale Beach on November 23 and November 24, and they affectionately say the concert's going on all day and all night.
That's definitely a lot of fun. And I know that we're having a little bit of difficulty seeing if that video is done, but I'm going to move us on.
Wait, before you do, we're going to talk a lot about Halloween tonight. And Halloween is a great, great holiday. But the giant holiday is coming, isn't it? And that's called Christmas. So our plan ahead #1 event is what, Napoleon?
We're going to be talking about Santa's Enchanted Forest. Now, if you are from South Florida and you've lived here for a while, then you are probably familiar with this little jingle that came out a few years ago. I know that you don't know it. I didn't grow up here either, but we were pretty baffled when we first heard this sound.
You know, it's funny. Before we show this to you, everybody in production at HAPPENING.fun said, "Oh, you've got to play the music of Santa's Enchanted Forest," and it was like, "Huh? That doesn't make sense."
One person started singing it, and literally it became
and
a chorus
everybody else
line.
started singing it. That's exactly what we want to show you right now. Watch this about Santa's Enchanted Forest. Come on.
Santa's enchanted forest. Come to see the lights of a wonderful Santa's enchanted forest. Games, food, shows, nativity. Santa's enchanted forest. Never you'll forget the experience of Santa's enchanted forest. A tropical park on Palmetto and Bird Road. Santa's enchanted forest. One ticket, all rides free.
Well, that sounds a lot of fun. It's the #1 Christmas-themed park in the entire world, right here in one of the warmest communities in all of America.
That has its
We're
own
getting
charm
no
to it. Come
snow. You know we're getting no snow, right? So the only possibility is at Santa's Enchanted Forest. Are you plan on going?
Well, now that we can let's plan ahead for it, I'm definitely going. I love Christmas almost as much as I love Halloween, but
Wait,
not quite as much.
aren't you Jewish?
I could be Jewish and still love Christmas, an
Okay.
American holiday.
All right, very good. All right, let's move into our third segment of the show. Napoleon, I always joke, did you know that there's a big gay community in South Florida?
There are definitely a few gay people that are
There's
here.
a few gay people here in South Florida, and they have many outstanding events on their own. We called this segment Out and About, coming from the gayest place on planet Earth. First off, #4 event this week is Caswell. Very famous singer. He is going to appear at Wicked Manors on Halloween night in Wilton Manors at the Hunters nightclub.
You definitely want to come check out and listen to him, get some groove on.
Have you ever heard his famous song Ice Cream Truck?
I have heard his famous song, Ice Cream Truck. I know that it's popular with a lot of the communities that are down in South Florida because it's very sexualized.
No, Napoleon and I, actually, he already knows, we went down to Havana in May to a special event, and we played Caswell's Ice Cream Truck, and all of Havana came to a complete stop when they watched him do
Havana's
this.
a very sexualized city, and it's great to see an artist. Many do, but it's great to see him embracing it in a way that's open to people that might not be able to otherwise embrace it.
What's
Like
number
this event.
3 in Out and About?
Next up in Out and About, we have AC Squared, which is Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. That's a really good duo. Not quite as good as us, I must say, but they're a lot of fun to watch. They have different points of view, and they really have different personalities, too. Are you going to go to check them out?
I am. I just did a thing with CNN and the presidential debates, and I can't wait to meet Anderson Cooper. Number 2 here in South Florida in Out and About is the Log Cabin Republicans Broward Meetup.
Who are the Log Cabin Republicans?
Now,
are they
this
like
is
Abraham
really-
Lincoln in a?
Well, first off, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
Yeah.
The Log Cabin Republicans is a gay organization of gay men and women that are Republicans. And they're having a meetup here in South Florida at the American Legion in Oakland Park on November 5th at 7 p.m. Now, I thought that this was really an interesting event because everybody thinks that South Florida is this blue sea.
But not all of it. There's definitely some red that's available, and if you swing that way, then this might be a group that you find some common people in. That must be really difficult when you're down here.
Exactly right, and I applaud the Log Cabin Republicans here in South Florida in such a giant blue sea to continue to push their observations from a more conservative and
Especially in an
Republican
LGBTQ
standpoint.
community. That's difficult.
And-
And then number one in our Out and About section is the Equality Florida Broward Gala. This is the biggest that Equality Florida throws. It is a huge event here in South Florida, and I am excited to go. It's November 9th. This is, what year is this of the gala?
This, I'm not sure which year, but it's been around for a long time.
A number of
Yeah.
years. It's very well lit, and this is the biggest one that they throw in
Yeah.
all of Florida.
Equality Florida is designed to help promote equality issues in the state of Florida, and this is the largest of the galas that they do. It will be held November 9th at the at the Westin Fort Lauderdale Beach Hotel on November 9th at 6:30 p.m. And it's an outstanding event to attend. If you believe in equality issues, it's where to be.
It's actually where I get a lot of my news on updates to court cases or whatever is going on here.
Excellent.
They're really good at getting you informed.
Our final segment tonight is, as you well know, is our favorite, and it is called
The Fun Five!
Exactly.
Oh my
The
God.
Fun 5 Things
Didn't
to
realize
do this week. October 30th week in South Florida. Here's our Fun 5. Let's begin with number 5. And that, of course, is the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. Now, we talked about this last week. This event is so big. It begins this weekend, special ticketing. You might not think that seeing boats and yachts are fun, but this is a weekend-long party.
I think it would be a lot of fun, and I was just really curious about this event. So in the history I looked up, it started with something like 16 boats, and now it's grown to 15,000. It's good to
15,000
see the
boats.
growth in South Florida, too, as a community.
I have read in gossip and Facebook that there is going to be a yacht that you can tour that costs, for sale, $175 million. Would you consider buying something like that for me?
I just had my birthday. I thought this was going to be my surprise present after the show.
Dude, no.
I don't even need the big bow. It's okay.
What's the number 4 fun top 5 this week?
Number 4 on our Fun 5 Things to Fun is Cinderella, and I'm talking performed by the Ballet Palm Beach. You might be familiar with other renditions of Cinderella, but this one is all told through, of course, ballet. If you have any inclination to experience life through movement and watch other people to learn how they move and tell a story, this is a great group to do so. You're already familiar with the ideas of Cinderella, so you can really get involved and invested with how they're moving and what they're doing for the storytelling. Just watching right now.
Napoleon, I'm curious. Have you ever been to the ballet?
Yeah, I actually have taken ballet for a number of years. I went to music.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I should have thought about that.
It's how you get
Napoleon
right.
is right. Napoleon is a Broadway-trained actor, and so I should have known that.
And this is a good one to see for that. What's next on our Fun 5?
Our Fun 5, number 3 thing to do this week is called Camelot Days, the Medieval Festival. Now, that is at the TY, the Thai Park in Hollywood. We call it, and I understandably, why we call it the TY Park, because you can't pronounce the names of the T and the Y.
We know you can't pronounce any of these.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
It wouldn't really matter.
But it's basically a medieval fair that is for 3 weekends, starting this weekend, the 9th and 10th, and then the 16th and 17th.
It's a very intimate experience with a lot of heart.
Do you like jousting?
Oh my gosh, yes. It used to be the actual sport of Maryland State. Until lacrosse took over, because that's a sport people actually play in whatever year it was.
We're
15.
showing you some video of it. It looks absolutely wonderful. The town that I came from, had one of the largest medieval fairs in all of America. And I'm going to check this out because it's exciting to see again. This is going to be at TY, Thai Park in Hollywood, and it is the first 3 weekends in November.
Number 2 on our Fun 5 Things to Fun is the Arrigo Ram Rodeo. This is one of the biggest rodeos. It's 2 days in South Florida. There are going to be cowboys, cowgirls. There are, of course, shots. I've never been to a rodeo myself, so this whole thing sounds really foreign to me, honestly.
Right.
It does sound really, really sexy.
To compete nationally, cowboys and cowgirls that travel a circuit. This is the big event in South Florida. You got to be really tough to compete in this because there's big prize money in its participation. It's going to take place at the South Florida Fair. And we remind you, if you'd like discounted tickets, they're available at the Red Barn Feed and Supply. I love that.
I'm going to
the
take
Feed
him out
and
there.
Supply.
He's going to
right. I've never been. I want to go. Of course, they have general admission and other kinds of tickets, but I gravitated to the VIP packages that included beers and meal included. And remember, children under 5 get in free, which is great.
You have a little time to have a kid then. Bring 'em
Absolutely.
along.
So you're going to plan on the rodeo?
Honestly, they have rankings for people that aren't experienced. So honestly, I really am curious.
Yes.
Can I ride a bucking bull? I'm curious to find out.
I'm pretty sure you can, Napoleon. I'm
Good at
pretty
a lot
sure
of things.
you
I think
can.
I could figure it out.
All right, so
What's our
that brings
number
us
one?
to the fun 5 things of the week. Now, today being the week launching for the next week of October 30th, number 1 is Halloween.
Woo!
There are so many fantastic things to do this week
Yeah.
for Halloween and its follow-up, the Day of the Dead. There are so many. We're just going to give you a quick rundown of our recommendation.
'Cause there's a
12
lot.
things. Now, remember, in Halloween, there are family-friendly things
There
for
are things
children.
for kids. There are things for teens. There are things for adults.
There
are things for men.
There
are
are
things for
bar
women, there are
events,
things for everyone in
men, women, festivals.
Anything at all.
It's all kinds. So let's begin right off
One
the bat.
holiday.
Let's talk about the children. The most popular thing in South Florida for Halloween is called Spooktacular, and that is at the Dolphin Mall. You can bring your children trick-or-treating where the entire mall turns into
So go store to
Spooktacular.
store, you know it'll be safe. You have other people there. You'll actually have people that are dressed up and stores that are dressed up.
Exactly. And every major mall in South Florida, in the 3 counties, will be doing the same thing. The largest at Dolphin, called
So let's move
Spooktacular.
One to the next. The next thing on our list in Halloween is the House of Death in Miami, and that is the maze.
That sounds
where you get
scary.
to go through. I hope so. I hope it's
Sounds
really
scary.
scary. You get to go through a maze. If you are claustrophobic or have a fear of getting lost, this is definitely something that you want to try
And the
out.
House of Death starts on Halloween at 6 p.m. Next is the Save Voodoo Ball. And this is one of the best ultimate Uber costume parties in South Florida. It's
And
held out
probably
in Miami
country.
Beach by the Save organization, a quality organization, and it will begin on All Hallows Eve on October 31st.
Be ready to raise the dead with the voodoo doll. Next up on our list is the Haunted Factory by Secret Garden. This is 4 rooms of pure fun. There are different themes to each room, different musicians, different everything. And on top of that all, there's a scavenger hunt where you can collect different pieces of different characters throughout each of the rooms. That is definitely something that reminds me of childhood, but in an adult form. I would love to go.
That sounds so much fun. Let me try to up that. Drag Queens, Halloween. Seems like a perfect natural. And that is at Gramps Bar in Miami. There is an event on Halloween called Double Stubble. And these queens get together and do a Halloween-themed party and show, and it sounds absolutely fabulous. Double Stubble. Could you compete?
I definitely couldn't right now. I've got a little bit of the smoothness going on. Can you even grow a beard yourself?
I shave frequently,
Oh.
more than
The-
you,
the
but
fa-
Double
the face
Stubble.
or the-
Yeah, well, could. All right.
Next up, we have Damian Lazarus at Space. If you are somebody that likes to go out and dance, there is no better person that you want to go out to on Halloween to get your groove on. Have some fun, bring a date. Don't
One
bring
of the
a date.
most famous DJs in the world, and Space is one of the top clubs and dance performance venues in South Florida. Next is an interesting one at Bow Campers Sports Bar and Grill, their annual Halloween bash. Now, I know this sounds strange that we would include a sports bar and grill for Halloween, but here's why. They do a gigantic costume party, not on Halloween, but on Friday, November 1st. And they have various contest entries, including sexiest contestant. And the great thing at Bow Campers is they give away $10,000
Oh, wow.
for costumes.
Maybe that's a reason to go to that, too. You know, the person that dressed me Sandy at this is at a football game for it as well. I understand spending it on sports. Next up on our list is the Churchill's Halloween Classic. This is at Churchill Pub on Halloween, October 31st.
A little international flair for
It's all
Halloween.
English, that's right. I can try it with an English accent.
You know,
but
we've
it's not
talked
gonna go
about
very well.
parties and indoor events. Let's move outside. For the gay community, principally, a big outdoor festival is 6 blocks in Wilton Manors in Central Florida, in Central Fort Lauderdale, called Wicked Manors. It's put on by the Pride Center, and approximately 35,000 people are going to show up.
Every year it grows.
3 stages, entertainment, and 6 blocks of absolute fun called Wicked Manors.
And so come to Bubbles and Pearls and say hi.
Exactly. Bubbles and Pearls is right on Wicked Drive here in Manor Drive. in Wilton Manors, rather. And
For those of you that might prefer to go somewhere that is a little bit more toward the traditional market, we have Wynwood's Halloween Block Party. This is also for all of you artists out there. You know, Wynwood used to be somewhere that didn't have all this graffiti, didn't have all this fun stuff going on, and it has been completely transformed by the artist community into an incredible space that is a lot of fun and has a lot of life.
And the final 3 things that we tell you about is Day of the Dead. Not as well known as Halloween, but this weekend is Day of the Dead festivities. There's varieties of events in Mexican restaurants. The Raise the Dead Festival is on Saturday, November 2nd. It is 12 hours starting at 3 o'clock. It includes DJs and food and entertainment, and it is built right next to an active cemetery in Miami.
Spooky.
And then finally, the Day of the Dead party is done at our house in Wynwood, featuring DJ Citizen Jane, our friend in South Florida. So there's all kinds of Day of the Dead events this weekend. Our number one thing to do of our Fun 5 this week is, of course, Halloween. All right, that's our plans. October 30th, that's happening.fun this week. This was all live. Tune in every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to find the things to fun. Did you have fun, Napoleon?
I had so much fun, and there's so much to do. We really honestly got to get going. We don't have any more time to film right now.
That's absolutely right. So tune in next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and we are going to find everything that you want to do, which are things to fun in South Florida.
The sexiest place on planet Earth.
At Happening Fun.